All right, everyone, welcome to the Brad and Kyle channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about something cool. We bowled on the PBA Tour this year in 2023, and we're going to be talking about the top 5 balls that we threw during those months this year. All right, so the first ball, Kyle, it's kind of changed a little bit. If there's a ball that you would say most of us threw the most, what ball would it be?
It's urethane.
You think it's urethane?
I don't care what company you're on, urethane gets thrown so much. So the ball that we used probably the most, and was much needed, was the pitch black right here. I know I threw this a ton with all the high rev rate that's going on the PBA Tour right now and bowling in general and how good these urethane balls are. Man, if you can figure out how to trick this and get it to hook early and blend the pattern on this hard stuff, I mean, you're throwing it all the time. And when other people are throwing it, it makes you feel like you have to throw it, because sometimes when this ball goes down the lane, it makes the down lane so squirrely that, man, if you're not throwing this, reactive doesn't look great. So
yeah, and we're kind of learning a lot of new things the more revs that people can find a way to have, and especially if like the entire field is on the very high echelon of rev rate, well then what do you see? Like, it doesn't even matter if it's 48 feet, 50 feet, 32 feet, you're going to go down a lane, and they're probably going to give urethane a try because urethane's so much smoother, so much more controllable that it's at least an option that you should at least look at, just to see, like, all right, is that urethane, you know, is it rolling up, is it going too straight, is it holding oil well, is it, you know, just throw it down the lane just to see, because if it's good, it's way too good.
It's, yeah, and you can be so aggressive with your hand, and a lot of us like being aggressive with our hands. And
that's why the high rev thing, it goes well with it.
It goes well. So urethane, we use it a ton. It's got to be number 1.
Yeah, it's like first 2 or 3 games, there's just so much urethane that you just have to play into effect. So then the second ball we threw the most, a little bit of a shocker here, because a lot of times, similar to the urethane, the first ball out of the bag, a lot is like some stronger asymmetric stuff like that. But this year was different because we bowled in bolero centers on high friction lanes. And what I mean by high friction lanes was when you throw the ball just hook, 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 and it hooked a lot. It never stopped hooking. And when you bowl in conditions like that, you know, the really, really strong higher echelon balls, they can be hard to throw because those balls like oil. You know, they're designed for oil, designed for slide, and they're designed to give you hook when there's too much slide. Well, if you don't have any slide, well then you start to revert to balls like this, which are cleaner bowling balls. The cover on this ball is the R2S. It's the cleanest cover that Storm makes. And to be honest, you know, the past several years we've been bowling on a lot of oil. We throw a lot of stronger balls. This year we got a chance to throw the weaker balls. And yeah, this one was definitely a staple in the bag for sure. This one was important.
It's kind of weird. Every year, you know, we've been on the tour now for a decent amount of years, and every year it's a little different, like what you have to do. A lot of times it's similar, but this year we just ended up bowling in a lot of high friction houses. So we're going to something like this phase 5, which was just money, so much sooner. You know, and typically maybe the last game of the block, the last 2 games of the block, but there's times we go from urethane straight to something like this because the front part of the lanes were hooking so much that you had to have a clean cover, because all the stronger stuff was just kind of hooking at your toe. And once that happens, once your ball's hooking early and there's no energy down lane, it's hard to score. So phase 5 was, honestly, this was my money ball this year. If I didn't have this ball, I don't know what I would have done.
Yeah, it kind of opened up our eyes a lot, and now I'm just telling everybody, like, you need a phase 5, you need a phase 5, you need a phase 5.
If you want that clean little whippy ball down lane that still kind of blends it, this
kicks
is the ball.
The 10 out, it gives you light hits.
Kicks the 10. Holy cow, it kicks
beautiful.
The 10.
Okay, so ball number 3 now.
Give it to me.
Question.
I want it.
If you were to pull this ball out of the box, and you were just no games on it, and you were just to look at it, what would you say it looked like?
Like, am I comparing it to like another ball, or
no,
am I
just
saying
think,
like,
just
like
be clever. Just be clever. What would you say? Man, that ball looks like a.
I don't know.
A gym.
It looks
Come on, man.
I was going like Sunday.
It's a gym. Yeah, I got you.
It's too early to be giving me this. All right, the gem. King Daddy asymmetric ball hooks earlier than anything. This was yeah, definitely probably the ball I threw. If I didn't throw urethane, or I wasn't trying urethane on the start, I was trying this ball.
Hooks earlier than any ball on the market. Hooks earlier than any ball I've ever seen. Have you ever seen a ball like the gym?
No.
It's like...
No, we threw this a ton. Obviously, this was one of the balls that got me through the Masters.
Oh yeah, you did throw it on the
This
show.
and the Infinite Physics. So thank you, Jim, for hooking so early and doing what you do on that pattern. I really appreciate it, and so does my bank account.
Yeah, and you know, the Phase 5 is designed for length, and we talked about a lot of times we throw these balls because we're on so much oil. This ball, when you're on oil, it makes everyone else, if your opponents don't have this ball, they think in their mind, I need that ball. And if they're on another staff, that's jail for them. And it's amazing when you're throwing these balls that give you looks that other people can't find. That's how you get your competitive advantage. The gym is that ball for us. I mean, it's just an amazing ball. It digs when other balls don't dig. It slashes the tin out. I mean, sometimes you get balls that hook so early that they just roll out and plaque.
Right.
This ball doesn't seem to plaque. It goes through the pins. You can slow wheel it. You can get into like 4th and 5th arrow with it if you need to. You can play up the gutter on it. You can throw it on 32 feet. You can throw it on anything, really.
Yeah, and my favorite thing about the gem is, for instance, like we bowled the Masters. I had it with surface, was throwing it there. Next week, the last few games on Cheetah, I had one shined. So completely different pattern, probably a difference of 8 feet in length, and I shined this and was able to like throw it on Cheetah. So, and when I shined the gem, it gave me a different look. So having it at surface and shine, and just being able to have this ball at different surfaces and having it be able to do a few different things and still feel like it rolled well was really important. That's why it's always in my bag.
Yeah, you know, a lot of times that just means that the ball company just kind of hit a home run in terms of the core. You know, if the ball's going through the pins really well, it's kicking the 10s out, it's tripping the 4s, they've done a really good thing with the core on top of the cover. Now, the next ball we're going to talk about is the same core.
Yep.
And it's the Exotic Gym, and I don't actually. This is the cover that has that's on the new Duo. I can't remember the exact name of it, but
yeah.
So what they did was they took the same core, big core, strong numbers, you know, and just put a really much cleaner cover on it. And this ball is amazing too. And this doesn't always happen. You know, this reminds me of the no rules and the no rules pearl. I don't know, there's been a bunch of them, but it doesn't always happen that way. Sometimes when you make a ball or a core and then you put other covers on it, you know, that one was amazing, these other. And it's awesome when you can throw a core that's working and then you need something that's a little cleaner, and then, hey, I could actually just stay with the same core. The cleaner cover is going to give me the shape that I need, and then you can continue that motion through the pins, and there's not a whole lot of thought. You don't have to go to different cores and stuff. So
was there a particular time on tour, a certain tournament, a certain block that this ball looked really good?
I mean, I don't know if I made a ball look good this year. Trying to think. But for me, I went to this anytime. So on tour this year, we bowled on really shorter patterns, 32 feet, and then some longer patterns, like 45 feet. And the fronts hooked, so the times where we couldn't throw the gym because the fronts were hooking so much, we basically threw the gym just with a different cover. And so games like 2, 3, 4 on some of the longer patterns, the last couple games in Wichita, I don't know. There was a lot of times I threw this ball, but I didn't have my A game. What about you?
For me, it was Shark this year, and what this was able to give me on Shark, was like
at the World Series.
At the World Series, because it has a bigger core, I was able to use it on the fresh, and it was clean, and I just keep my angles tight. But because it's got the cleaner cover, I was able to just keep moving in, fading it, and it was clean, but it was just quick enough and enough down lane where it was snapping those 10s. And if you remember, I was bowling on a pair with some high rev rate boots. And so they're all left of me, so it's just chopped. And this ball was able to like clear that chop and allow me to kind of play off those guys. Even though they hooked it way more than I did, this ball gave me an advantage that if I didn't have that, I wasn't going to do well.
Yeah, and you know, Storm Roto and 900 Global, across those 3 companies, there's actually a lot of these types of balls. The cleaner cover, strong ASIM core. We have a lot of them. I mean, I tried throwing the Dark Code this year. We have the Eternity. Help me out. Absolute. Okay, so, and this one was the one that I felt was probably thrown most across the company. And it probably has something to do with we also threw the gym a lot, and the 1-2 punch from that to this was really similar. If that was close but just a little lazy, this was the perfect thing. And yeah, so the World Series, lots of friction there. We were still able to throw a pretty strong ball. And so it's very versatile.
The last ball is a Phase 2.
Now, we talked about all the friction, all the hook that there was. And you know, sometimes you just go into a bowling alley and your ball's looking out of the building. And this is a strong ball. You know, this is the ball that we would actually go to if we needed still somewhat of a stronger cover from the gym. So if we're throwing the gym and there's lots of oil and that ball just starts to roll out a little bit too much and there's still some oil on the lane, this is the kind of ball we go to. We don't necessarily go to a Phase 5 or a exotic gem because this ball still reads the mid lane really strong.
I'll ask you this now.
Okay.
What block did you have a good block with this one during the tour season?
Is this a trick question?
It's an easy question. There's one block that if you're gonna hang your hat on one block you had this year.
Well, didn't I throw the Phase 5?
You did, but you started with that one.
I started with it. Okay.
Yeah,
so
you used that
in the
for like
doubles,
first 2 or 3.
Okay, so the doubles this year, I think I had 820 something out the
Yeah, I was like, you had like 820 with that ball.
But in my memory, I threw that one the most. But I started out with this, and I mean, it doesn't matter what you're bowling on. And our point here is, you can show up and they hook out of the building. You could show up and they don't hook out of the building. You feel safer. You feel like you're a better bowler when this is in your bag. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
You don't even have to throw it. You could not throw it for an entire year. You're a better bowler with it in your bag. And so we still threw it a lot. I mean, heck, we bowled on some oil. The Masters had plenty of oil. U.S. Open got thrown a bunch. Yeah, I mean, you know, it is what it is. It's the Phase 2, baby.
All right, guys, those are the top 5 balls that we threw all year. Some new ones, a good oldie, just a little blend of everything.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, thank you guys for watching that video. If you haven't gotten any of those, head over to your local pro shop and start digging into them. You won't be disappointed in any of those balls, we promise. So hit that like and subscribe. We love you guys, appreciate you. Have a go.